Good morning, guys. Once again, the last time in the last session, we had finished Unit 2, which is into the perception and the learning, right? We'll start Unit 3 now today, which is about the attitude, right? Values and the motivation. So, in this video, we'll cover the attitude only. Then, after in the second video, we'll talk about the values and the motivation. Right, let me just share the screen with you, the presentation with you, so that you can also read the slides. So this is the third unit. Again, it is important unit, and I think this is one of the most important unit because we are talking about the organization behavior, which is more into the psychology, right? And here we'll be talking about the motivation theories. I mean, if you just apply in the day-to-day life, I mean, that is great. My only point is that you should start applying it, right? Until unless you apply, I reiterate, this is only text, right? But if you start applying it, I mean, the work which people have already done, right? Sigmund has done, Elton Mayo has done, Maslow, Pavlov. So there are a lot of people who have already done a lot of good stuff, right? So you just start using it. Let's talk about the attitude. So what is attitude? Attitude basically, defined as a psychological tendency that represent how an individual evaluate or feel about the people, objects, or maybe ideas or the situation, right? So if you talk about the attitude, which it basically involves the combination of beliefs, feelings, right? Beliefs is important. Belief is very, very important, right? Belief comes in from the place where you born and brought up, probably your environment in which your upbringing has happened. Uh, there are certain, countries in which the color coding is different, like color coding in a sense, like the meaning of the color, I would say, like we take, X color auspicious or the Y color auspicious, but in this, in the other countries, some countries, that color is not good, right? They find it bad. So belief is very, very important, right? And you cannot challenge it. I personally suggest everyone that we should not challenge the beliefs, right? I have, you know, when we talk about the corporate, when we talk about industry, you start working in some different market altogether. So when I join Mumbai market or any other market like Gujarat market, Rajasthan market, there are certain things. Culture is different. Your beliefs are different. You cannot challenge it. You need to first understand that what's going on there. You need to understand that how people behave there, right? What is the culture? Later on, you need to adapt it. Like in the last session, in the last unit rather, we had spoken about the adaptability. You need to adapt, right? You need to adapt. You cannot challenge. They are doing this thing from since ages. Your job is to adapt it. That's it, nothing else. So, the formation of the attitude, or rather, I would say the factors which are important in the attitude is it is more into the belief, feelings, and the behavioral tendencies. So uh, these things basically shape the individual's perception, right? And judgment and the responses, right, to the world around. So attitude basically represents the overall evaluation or orientation, right? If you say about more about the attitude, it influences how individual approach and interact with the environment, right? Environment in the sense that where he or she is working, right? Or guiding their thoughts, emotions, or the behavior, right? Attitude are not fixed, right? It can be changed over a period of time. You can, the person, when he or she starts adapting, attitude will change. So it is not permanent, right? It is not fixed. You talk about the source of the attitude, you know, direct experiences is one, socialization, direct instructions, cognitive process, emotional process, These all are screen is paused. Okay. I thought I just got a message that your screen has is paused. So, anyways, so let's talk about the direct experiences, socialization, right? It depends on the exposure also. More the exposure, open the attitude it will be, better the attitude it will be. The person who stays at one place and have not met multiple people must be behaving in a different way than a person who is traveling all the time, right? So wanderlust, when we say about this thing traveling, the people who travel from one place to another place, their attitude will always be different, right, in comparison. Because they are meeting a lot of people, right? And they are looking at the different cultures, different beliefs, and then they adapt it, right? So direct experience is one socialization. Okay, it is important. Like you're meeting with a number of people, right? And different cultural norms, media exposure, etc. Right? Direct instruction, it can be taught also, right? But normally it happens when where you born and brought up that time. It generally happens. But yes, of course, your teachers also can give you some instructions. Yeah, leaders can give you some instructions. Cognitive process, if you say, basically rational evaluation and the reasoning can influence the attitude. So when we talk about the cognitive process, it is the rational, you know, evaluation and the reasoning which impacts the attitude. Emotional responses also, where we have the feeling of fear, joy, right, or maybe disgust. So that also impacts the attitude. We talk about the types of attitude, which is affective, cognitive, behavioral. So what is affective? Affective basically are based on the emotions and feelings. For example, liking. Cognitive is belief and thought, which is there in the mind, right? It change your behavior. Believing that climate change is caused by human activity. This is one of the examples. So when we start believing it, we start working towards it. Our attitude gets changed. Like if you talk about the global warming in this example, if you see climate change, so people start believing that yes, this is a big time issue. This could be a big time issue in the future for the human beings. So people have started working towards it, how we can resolve it across the globe, right? You talk about the behavioral attitude. So these are related to the actions or the intentions, right? Voting for a particular political candidate, that is behavioral attitude. You cannot, force anyone to change the attitude. Attitude of a person will get changed automatically once he or she will start, experiencing. So direct experience is a major source, right? So attitude formation, how it happens, as I said, direct experience is one of the major source by which the attitude gets built up, right? When you get the punishment, when you get the rewards, it is very, very important, right? You need to understand the operant conditioning, right? So what is there? I mean, there was an experiment has happened, right? When you where a dog was taught that when he'll be getting the food, so there were certain conditions, right? So associating a stimuli with the emotional responses. So the moment that activity happens, the dog started getting the saliva. So this is a stimuli and the emotional responses, right? Operant conditioning, a reward and the punishment also. So direct experience is important. Social learning is important. Like I said, that you go in the social gathering, you meet a lot of people, right? And then you get the experiences. You listen to them. You start, grasping that how these people are thinking. What are the difference in your culture, their norms, beliefs, and all those things, right? So cognitive consistency is people tend to seek consistency between the attitude, beliefs, and this behavior. Understand this when we'll talk about the cognitive dissonance, which is one of the most important, I think. Particularly, I'll talk about the marketing guys. Uh, Cognitive dissonance, please take it very seriously. I'm going to explain it in the next topic itself. I mean, after this. So, socialization and cultural influences, again, these are the sources by which you can, attitude can be, uh, formed. So, let's talk about this attitude can, change through the process, such as the cognitive dissonance. Now, this is the most important, I would say, for the people who particularly are there in marketing, but overall, it is very, very important. So, if you see here in cognitive dissonance, what exactly happens? Look, so basically, attitude can change through cognitive dissonance, persuasion, social influence, direct experience, cognitive reappraisal. So, what is cognitive dissonance? I would like to give extra time to this particular topic, right? Cognitive dissonance basically, proposed by Leon Festinger, right? Leon Festinger has proposed this thing. And the cognitive dissonance theory suggests that the individual experience psychological discomfort or dissonance when their attitude, beliefs, or behaviors are inconsistent with each other. What does it mean? Let's read the sentence once again in the next slide. It is proposed by Leon Festinger, right? Cognitive dissonance theory suggests that individual experience psychological discomfort or dissonance when their attitude, beliefs, or behaviors are inconsistent with each other. Now, this line is very, very important, and this generally comes in the post-purchase behavior when you talk about the marketing, right? A person who has, I'll just give you a very simple example, and I think you all can relate with this thing because you already must have done at some given point in time some kind of shopping, right? Small, big, whatever, irrespective of the amount what you have spent, but you must have done it, right? So you would be able to easily connect it. So what happens when a person buys a shirt for that matter, or any product for that matter? There's a salesperson, there are people who have given some, inputs about that particular product, some features they have told, you know, a lot of things they have spoken about before giving product to you, right? I mean, before you buy the product, you ask a number of questions, right? And people used to answer it. Now they give you a lot of inputs, and after that, when you buy the product and then you start using it, if that time that product is not working the way it was, the information was given by the salesman or the other people in the organization, if the product is not working in that ways, right? Or there is some problem with the product which was not told by the people there, cognitive dissonance happens. What does it mean? That you are now feeling you are in the, you are in out of your comfort, right? You are in discomfort. When you are in discomfort, it simply means that you believed something else. You had some different image in the mind, and then your image did not, has not got fulfilled. And the actual image is different than the perceived image. So there is a difference between perceived image and the actual image, and this gap and this difference creates the cognitive dissonance. So under this cognitive dissonance, what will start happening that you will start talking negative about the company, or probably negative about the uh, negative about the product, or probably you will talk of negative and a number of different people, right? It is possible. So this is what it happens. Now, if you say the key principle of cognitive dissonance theory, it basically include the cognitive, dissonance aversion, selective exposure, All right, selective perception and attitude change. So individuals which are are motivated to avoid or reduce cognitive dissonance, right, to reduces discomfort or psychological tension. Now understand, we are so habitual. I mean, as per habit is concerned, it becomes so tough to change even a very small thing from the day-to-day activity which we generally do, right? If you in the morning you just take the brush in the right hand, for example toothbrush, right? You do it, you do this thing all the time, all the day, I mean, every day in the same pattern. You cannot change it, right? Try to change it, right? And then you see what happens, right? You normally pick the brush in the right hand, try to pick it in the other hand that is left, right? Or vice versa. See what kind of feelings you get in the mind, right? What happens basically? You will be out of your comfort zone, and then you will start feeling what is happening, right? So it really it really works, right? So clients or the customers or the in the market rather, if you say, just keep your customers in their comfort zone, because whatever you are promising, you just need to deliver. One golden rule in marketing, what we have is the you know under promise and over deliver. So when you promise less and you deliver a little more, then clients will get happy about it, right? So cognitive dissonance will not happen. But cognitive dissonance happens when people start talking a lot of things about the product, but actually it is not there. So that time it is basically, in my say, I mean, what I personally believe is this is disaster, right? For any company or for that matter, any product. So do not overpromise, right? So selective exposure, if you see, people tend to seek out information and experiences that are consistent, right? So consistency is important. The moment it gets changed, you know, uh, people start taking the tensions, or they start yelling out. Probably they start behaving in a different way, right? So selective perception and attitude change, right? To reduce the cognitive dissonance, individual may change their attitude, beliefs, and the behavior. So cognitive dissonance, if that thing has happened, you need to make them feel that yes, this is a little different, right? They need to change their attitude. It is also possible that you need to tease them. And how to tease them, this is a different issue altogether, different matter of discussion altogether, of discussion. So we'll talk about it, but they need to change the attitude so that things will happen, right? Now, if you see the effect of the of employee attitude, uh, one more thing which I want to talk here, right? It is basically, employees' attitude basically play a significant role in shaping the workplace dynamics, uh, productivity, and the organizational success, right? So if you see the job related thing, this is the last thing in the attitude, I guess, which we are going to talk, and then after we'll stop. Later on, we'll take the other thing, which is values. So if you talk about the effects of employee attitude, first is the job satisfaction. Uh, Trust me, guys, if you have the job satisfaction, automatically your organization will grow. Right? I always say that an organization needs to keep the internal customers happy. Forget about the external customers. External customers will automatically be very, very happy if your internal customers are happy. Internal customers means what? The employees, right? If the employees are happy, they will, you know, do everything to keep the external customers happy. That is for sure. So if you're running a business, if you want to be an entrepreneur, just trust, keep this thing in your mind that you need to keep your internal customers. So it doesn't mean that you need to, fulfill their uh, demands, which are not, which are inappropriate, rather, I would say, right? So, but yes, you need to give due diligence to your employees, right? That is very, very important. Organization commitment, as I say, that the employees are happy, employees are satisfied with their job, their commitment will be, there towards the organization. So at times, what happened that when you work in the organization, if you don't feel like going to the office in the morning, nothing like it. I mean, this is the best picture what you can create for your employees in the organization. Employees should not feel like that I'm going to the workplace. They basically enjoy the work. So when they enjoy the work, I mean, this is the best situation which you can create, or best environment you can create, right? This is very, very conducive environment, and this is going to helpful for your organization itself, because when the people are there in your organization, they are satisfied, they will be giving 100%. It's very simple, right? Like in the last session, probably, or in the last unit, I said that micromanagement is curse, right? That is what I believe in, and I still say the same thing. I reiterate that micromanagement is curse, right? But yes, again, micromanagement is curse for the people who are the intellectual people, right? Not for all. So that depends on people, person to person, that what kind of supervision it is required for them, right? Everyone. For few people, micromanagement is highly, big time demotivating factor. So satisfiers and dissatisfiers we'll talk about in the when we'll be talking about the motivation in this unit later on, right? So third is like employee engagement. If you see employee engagement, attitudes such as the enthusiasm, right, motivation, involvement significantly impact the employee engagement, right? The level of enthusiasm, energy, dedication, um, that employee brings to their work role, it is very, very important. And one more thing which comes here is like when the person or the employee is engaged, they are emotionally invested in the organization and the work, right? When this thing happens, forget, I mean, about every other thing. You need not to worry about your work. That person will take care of it, right? Because employee is engaged, and when they are engaged doesn't mean that you will give n number of you know work to them to keep them busy all the time. This is not the case. Your screen, okay. So this is not the case, but certainly you need to keep them engaged, right? So that automatically they get involved emotionally. And then you talk about the workplace moral. That is again very important. Workplace moral is important, right? Customer satisfaction and service quality. If your employee are motivated, or their attitude is correct, right, then your customer satisfaction will be there, service quality will go up, because finally you cannot do everything all alone. Managers cannot do everything all alone, right? These are the people who are going to do it, right? This is the team which is going to work, right? So your team is like the frontliners. You cannot talk with every client, right? So what will happen if frontliners will start saying something bad about, right, or they don't deal with the clients properly, right? Then what will happen? It is basically negative brand name of the company. It's not about that employee, whatever they are doing, that's okay. I mean, they should not ideally do it, but if they are doing it, what you can do? This is going to impact your brand name, the company's name, right? So you need to, and again, ethics is important. Like I said in the first session itself, first unit itself, that ethics, without that, nothing will happen, right? So while selecting, recruiting people, first thing first, ethics you need to check, right? And then you talk about the productivity and the performance. Attitude basically influence the employee motivation, engagement, and job performance, right? So positive attitude contribute towards the higher level of productivity, right? So this is important. Absenteeism will go down, right? Turnover will go up, right? Negative attitude such as dissatisfaction or disengagement, are associated with higher rate of absenteeism. If the person is motivated, he will not take the offs, right? He or she will not take the leaves, right? Turnover and, uh, intention to leave also, will happen if the negative attitude is there, right? So addressing the underlying causes of negative attitude, can help to reduce turnover, right? Or rather, I would say attrition, right? Attrition rate, I would say. Okay, and because see, what happens that it involves the costing, right? You hire someone, it costing is involved. You hire, you train them, you induct them in the system. You spend a lot of money on them. You make them, you spend a lot of money basically, and then one fine day the employee leaves. Whose loss it is? This is company's loss, right? So attrition should go down rather, and attrition to reduce the attrition rate. Uh, this is the best way out if you can inculcate the positive attitude in the employees, right? So that is important. You talk about the job involvement. I mean, the degree of psychological identification. If you see with the one's job, it is important of one's for the work, right? Highly involved employees are deeply engaged, right, in their work, right? Then you talk about the job stress. Job stress of course, should not be there, right? If it is there, if the person is positive, having the positive attitude, automatically the job stress will be less. If the person is negative attitude, with the negative attitude, of course, job stress will be high. So you need to just address that, right? Job stress can negatively, impact the job satisfaction, health, and well-being, right? Either way, one side you need to check whether the employee is there with the positive attitude or negative attitude, and also the side you need to check the job stress. If the job stress is more, of course, one fine day it is possible, it will contribute basically towards the negative attitude, right? So one fine day it is possible that the person will become negative, though the person was positive earlier. As I said, that attitude is not fixed, right? It is bound to change. It can easily be changed, right? So that you need to take care of. So understanding and managing employee attitude, particularly related with the job attitude, is essential for fostering a positive work environment. Right. So I'll stop here. We'll take the values in the next session. Till then, enjoy yourself. Take care and bye bye. I'll stop sharing now. Okay. Bye bye. Take care, guys. Enjoy yourself.
Family is the genesis of this group.
Family is everything for us.
They know the nitty-gritty of what needs to be done.
We're each other's building blocks.
It has never been two families. It has always been one.
પરિવાર એ જ સર્વસ્વ છે.
Without family, I think we would lose my sense of direction. So the Marwari Group's foundation, I think, comes from the desire to prosper. Starting with Marwari Shares and Finance, retail financial services business, and primarily into stock markets and stock broking segment in India. Essentially, we have 110 odd branches across Gujarat, Maharashtra, about 4 lakh customers or 400,000 customers. It's a business that's stood the test of time.
એટલે એ અમારા ફાધરના ટાઈમથી આવ્યું છે કે આપણે કોઈ પણની અપેક્ષા વગર કોઈને પણ સપોર્ટ કરવો કે એવું નહોતું એમ કે કોઈ પણ નીડ બેઝ હોય કે કાંઈ પણ ઓર્ગેનાઇઝેશનમાં સ્ટાફ હોય એને આપણે ફેમિલીની જેમ જ ગણીએ છીએ. કોઈ દી સ્ટાફ તરીકે કે એવું ગણતા નથી એમ.
Then we talk about Marwari University, which was founded in 2009 by my father, and Jeetubai Chandarana is the co-founder of the Chandarana family.
We started as just 360 students with just 5 classes on ground. But at the same time, the vision was huge.
We are now at 11,000 students, and it's a 35-acre campus
અને એ બધું 100% વિઝન એનું જ છે અને આખું એન્ટાયર નેટવર્ક યુનિવર્સિટીનું એ જ જોવે છે.
Creating new generational students, helping them to do well in life, needs multidimensional approaches these days.
And that's how we started that let's do something for society and to give something which is missing in this country. So that's how we started setting up this university.
So Marwadi Chandarana Intermediaries and Brokers Private Limited. So that entity is in partnership with the Chandarana family, Jitubai Chandarana, Nishit Chandarana and Amish Chandarana. So that's about proprietary and algorithmic trading, where we've got about 1,500 plus traders directly, indirectly working with us.
ત્યારે મેં હંમેશા વિચાર્યું છે કે કોઈ પણ બિઝનેસથી એવી રીતે કરવો જોઈએ કે જે સ્કાય ઇઝ ધ લિમિટ હોવી જોઈએ. એમાં કંઈ લિમિટેશન હોવા જ ન જોઈએ. તમારી જેટલી કેપેસિટી વધે એટલું તમારે કામ આગળ ને આગળ તમારી પાસે હોવું જ જોઈએ.
So far what we are traditional broker with, of course, a pinch of all the new age technology available in our business.
I am a hardcore trader. I am always on the screen. I used to hear the talks about markets, business on the dinner table. So it was always fascinating about joining stock markets at an early age. So that's how I joined them, my father and my brother.
Business and the partnership is just based on trust.
It's not just one person who is going to achieve success. It's all of us together who are going to reach our goal and achieve success.
Most recent business we've entered is Pixin Energy. We've entered energy as a sector and power as a sector.
We have around 200 people now, and one question, when we ask, why do you want to join Pixin? They have, this one standard answer that it's a group, it's a part of the Marwadi family, and that's why we want to join.
That belongingness, that ownership should come if you treat them like your family members.
The most recent business and the latest one is One Finance, which I founded. One Finance is essentially a reimagined personal finance institution.
We started with building it on multiple values and all that, but we just wanted that one word that can define that why do we exist. And then finally we realized that just by being honest, everything else falls in line,
So we offer unbiased, qualified and hyper-personalized advice on one's personal finances.
We have always believed in, building up the relationship with clients and our authorized partners who are, pillars for our success, I would say.
If you don't have people whom you share your success or prosperity, then it has no relevance on its own. So Believe family is an effort. As united, we achieve something. And we all three brothers, told our father, no, we will not take this risk. But he said, no, I'm going ahead with it, whether you join us or not. And that's how we are today where we are. So it was his courage, his entrepreneurship, and his ability to see future. I think that's what made us today what we are.
યંગર જનરેશન પાસેથી તો ઘણું શીખવા મળ્યું છે જે અમને અત્યારે નવું જે યંગર જનરેશન ડેવલપ કરે છે સારી ભાવનાથી સારી રીતે.
They are carrying the legacy forward, and I'm very proud to know that and to share even that. I mean, it's a very proud thing for us.
દરેક વસ્તુઓ છે એ પેરેન્ટ્સે પણ સમજવી પડે કે તમે એને એની રીતે કરવાની છૂટ આપો. એના અત્યારના જનરેશન પ્રમાણે એને આગળ વધવા દો.
They have an open mind to take it to the next level and exploring other ways, the ways that may not have worked for them.
Like every generation learns from new generation. Like what my father couldn't do, we did it. What we don't understand, they are doing it.
I think the Marwadi Chandarana Group represents and lives purpose. It represents and lives impact. It represents and lives creating sustainable long-term businesses and organizations. And Marwadi Chandarana Group represents, taking risks where it matters, not just for themselves, but those who we impact directly and indirectly, right? So we employ about 4,500 people across all organizations. We've got about 5 lakh customers, students, so on and so forth. We've designed the business model in a way where the customer and The people's interest, directly or indirectly, is at the heart of our business. So we're a people-centric company. We're not a customer-centric or an employee-centric company. Without our values, Marwari and Marwari Chandrana Group won't be where it is today.